good morning, everyone. Hold on one second here. I will get you my monitor so you can see what's going on. The market's just opened up, and it looks like the tailspin for the NASDAQ, well, it's hardly a tailspin. We had one bearish day yesterday. But this morning started off a little bit with a bearish tone. Here, let's take a look at the Raptor. And you will see that the overnight, the market's been in pretty much of a decline. So we had yesterday's session close out right about here around the 46.50 mark. Relatively quiet through the Asian session, then the European session started, and the market did a little bit of a decline. Nice little hard edge bounce here. And now we're tracking a little bit sideways. I think the market's trying to figure out whether it wants to get into that gap, which would be right up here, or if it's actually going to bounce off of the hard edge and continue lower. Right now we're into yellow bars, so let's assume for the most part that we're in a bit of a sideways range. Oh, this is interesting. We do have a test of the extreme here on the Raptor. This is very aggressive here. Now I'm gonna tee this up, but let me explain what you're seeing here. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. It's only, 1 or 2 minutes after the open. And the market is in a downtrend. But this is actually a signal that's, well, I'm not going to say it's unique to the Raptor, because we do see this print on the other tools as well. But just the structure that's involved here. We're getting our test of the extreme. Right, we got our test of the extreme here. The market's now challenging the top end, but we had another little test of the extreme right here, and that led to our soft edge buy. This tends to be a little bit of a bullish signal. It tends to print more often when the band is especially wide. Let's see if I can find you another example. Here's a soft edge sell. Oops, can I make that bigger? And you'll see it's always preceded by this test of the extreme. That's very important. Without that test of the extreme, you don't have a valid soft edge sell or a soft edge buy. Now, this is very much a counter trend type signal. And it's still very early, which is why I said I'm just putting this on here to show you. But if you're looking for a trade to follow, that may not be the best one just yet, especially since it looks like the market's retreating from there. All right, so it is retreating. We'll cancel that. And it looks like it's going to be one of these situations where, until we get outside of this range, we may not have too much to trade. So here we are now at the bottom end of the trading range. Technically, I suppose this is a double pullback signal, which tends to be bearish. But that gap out of the open is starting to muck things up a little bit. All right, getting first micro-macro cross signals. Falcon not complete with the trend change signal yet. The Eagle producing a soft edge bounce signal. Everything is in sync here. But again, because we're moving sideways like this, I think you're going to be better off either letting the market break or taking it an entry below the low or above the high. And fact, since prices seem to be rejecting the low yet again, let's see whether or not we're going to get a bullish signal here on the Raptor is usually pretty quick with that. So once again, we're getting this rejection of the lows. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. And we'll see if they don't come and start the day here with a soft edge buy signal. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw the order up here so I have it handy so I can pull it down. And we'll enter a swing low, and there it is right there. And here too, it's probably safer for me to enter above these highs right here if you wanted to delay your entry a little bit. I'm being a little bit more aggressive on this morning. I hope it doesn't turn around to bite me. Okay, there we go. We're cancel that. Breaking now through the bottom edge. Getting that reaction, waiting for the retest. Oh, thanks, Jim. Jim giving some advanced decline numbers here this morning. We've got just under 1,200 on the buy and about 1,450 on the sell. So kind of even. We're only out about a negative 200. That's not going to influence the market all that much. Oh, here they come again. Oop, here they come again with that rejection of the lows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my order in, and I'm going to put it above this earlier high. So yes, I'm giving up quite a bit of open profit here, but it seems as though this is the range where we've contained the market. So I'm not going to second guess which way the market's actually going to go. Okay, we just printed another, oh no, we printed a buy signal on the YM, I think. Yes, we did. 1 second here, I'll bring that over. So here's the YM giving us a similar look. Kind of, we've got the cloud crossover. The market's getting a little bit more aggressive now. And we'll throw the buy order in here. And same kind of thing, I'll run a stop below the low. So we're into the primary resistance here on the YM. Let's see, could we get back here to the median? Well, I guess the median line would be a reasonable target. I'm not going to be quite as aggressive with that. So now we're testing the top end of this trading range. Let's go back to the action here on the NQ. Oh dear, we do need to see those buyers show up. Come on, buyers. Looking for the support now on the cloud crossover. It's a little bit premature here, but if we can get them to give us just a little bit of a boost. Oh, I guess I need to get a stop in order here. Oh, come on. No, doggone it. Well, what do I what do I say? The market making a bigger range. That's all right. We'll get that back. All right, we're getting a first micro macro cross now on the hawk. It looks like it's going to peel back into a macro pullback. And there's the macro pullback. And here's the trend change signal. The advanced decline getting a little stronger, 1230 on the buy and 1480 on the sell, so marginally stronger for the buyers. All right, well, here we go. So we tried the Raptor to the upside. We'll throw in a sell order now. See whether or not they're truly serious about heading lower. Or whether they're going to try to skunk me again. Here the macro pullback had some very nice follow through on it. Also, coincidentally, was our first micro macro crossover. And the Eagle also producing a signal here, a soft edge bounce. which was preceded by the green bar sell. This occurred while we were watching our Raptor trade. And here's the trend change signal on the Falcon. So we had several high quality signals just occur. Now we'll see if we can get a little bit more follow through out of them. So on the Raptor, we've hit the break even, and I haven't activated the stop just yet. Come on, sellers. Boy, oh boy, they're just brutal today. Come on, get down there. So I'm looking for the sellers to step up here anytime now. Oh man, come on. I think Jim's got the right idea. He's posting some numbers here. He's just scalping in and out for a few ticks. Picked up almost 20 ticks. He said shorted at 66, out at 45. I think that's a good call the way the market is today. We had a nice progression yesterday, and today they just don't want to get their act together. All right, so if this bar finishes lower, it looks like we're going to have the sellers finally show up, in which case it's probably time to start rolling stops. Actually, even if they don't show up, this is probably the spot to take my medicine. Come on. There's going to be a test of the extreme here somewhere. We're going to see prices head lower one more time. Come on. There we go. Well, I'll just manually flatten the trade. I'm having a little difficulty. I don't have enough of a. I need one more bar to finish lower here for the program to actually recognize that as a swing point. All right, we'll get out of that. Now, of course, the market will turn lower. And give us that test of the extreme. Getting a cloud crossover now on the Raptor and a possible trend change signal here on the Falcon. We just got our first micro-macro cross signal here on the Hawk, so 3 out of our 4 tools looking a little bit more bullish. Jim says too, he says he's looking for the YM to go up. Oh, but the bank index not bullish. Okay, here comes that test of the extreme. Wow, that's not much of a test of the extreme. And we're near the top end of the trading range again. So we're producing, it's almost a rule of 3 signal. It's similar to a rule of 3. It's actually a rule of 2. And you know what, folks? I'm very hesitant about taking this. The market will break one way or the other. This type of range that we're experiencing today, it's really the situation where we should wait for the breakout. Here, let's, no, you can't see it very well there on the Raptor. Here on the Eagle, you can see we've established a range here, here, and down here to a lesser degree. And you could make the case that what we're seeing right now is a retest of the breakout to the downside, in which case we would expect the market to break lower. showing you this signal here because it qualifies more or less as a rule of three. A rule of three always occurs toward the end of the trend, and it produces a counter trend signal. And like some of the other counter trend signals, or actually like all the other counter trend signals, it has to be preceded by a test of the extreme. Now this one was very shallow, which makes it a little bit more difficult to determine whether or not that was truly a test of the extreme or not. The good news is that sometimes these shallow ones occur because the buyers are a little bit stronger. So even though we technically only have two counter trend signals here, it still does meet the requirements of a rule of three. We'll see if we can't get it to trade back here to this 46.40 area. Gold is giving us a trend change signal on the Falcon, and prices just tripped. So it's looking like gold may be trying to press higher, and what we've got here is the trend change signal. So the trend line changes color, and we tend to look for this up, down, up pattern. What this shows us is that the buyers have taken control of the market. They've changed the trend line. The sellers try to regain control of the market, but they fail, and the buyers maintain control. They generate a signal. Filter is in sync. Trend line is in sync. It is into the primary support, though, which could be a little problematic. And it does appear as though it is counter trend for the most part, but I'm not looking for a huge move here, just a little bit of a move perhaps to the upper end of the trading range. So that's gold. We've hit the break-even trigger. Hopefully they're not going to peel too far back here. What do we got in open profit? $50 more or less. Jim says he missed his long entry by one tick. Why is it always one tick, he says. I know. I feel your pain. And the advanced decline still gaining for the buyers, 1475 on the buy and just over 1200 on the sell. So we had a good opportunity here too on the hawk. A nice little first micro macro cross after our red bar buy. If you weren't sure about the red bar buy, given the way the market has been moving this morning, that first micro macro cross should have given you a little bit of confidence. Could have set it up like so and easily found our profit target. Now we're into a little bit of a consolidation. Watching the Geiger counter here, looking for the buyers to get busy. Back into this resistance. You see we're here on the Raptor. Back into the resistance on the highs. This is when you want to be watching your Geiger counter to see how the market is reacting here. We want to see this wheel swing hard over to the green side and stay there. That would show us a lot of buyers trying to chew through the orders, but the opposite is happening. Getting a lot of sell pressure. Oh yeah, there's a lot of selling pressure there. Well, here come the buyers. Nope, there's the sellers again. So they're chewing away at it. Oh, here come the buyers. Oh, maybe not. So they're just about to tag me here at break even. Stinkers. All right, interesting to see another red bar buy trying to form here. The hawk now into yellow bars, so we're going to ignore that. The sellers chewing through the orders here on the Geiger counter, it appears. Yeah, a lot of selling pressure. Okay, the Raptor just produced a signal. This is, well, it's typical for the day, isn't it? I said this is a difficult signal to take because what we've got is we've got the little test at the extreme up here. We've drifted into the hard edge where we normally anticipate some sort of reaction. Geiger counter is, well, now it's a little bit stronger, but it was just full on red. You see our needle red, the average is red, the histogram really heavy here to the short side. The signal produced right here at the hard edge. I was a little bit late on it, so I took it below the next bar. And we'll see now whether they're going to fall off and perhaps try to retest the lows of this morning. Overall, just a very, very choppy day. Tom's doing a little buy off of the YM, off of the hard edge. Looking for that hard edge bounce and the perhaps coming out with a buy signal. Yeah, the Geiger counter, you know, it's taken its time. They're heavy on the buy. Oh, that's really good for you, Jim. They're really chewing through those buy orders, and then they go heavy on the sell. Okay, here's all the action in the NQ. We're starting to produce a warning dots for possible sell signal. There's no question we have a tight little range today, with the market really sticking to the highs and the lows. All right, so we've hit the break-even trigger at least. Okay. And so we took profit on one. We've got a little bit of a runner in here. Gold is closing in on our profit objective. We're also at break even there. Gold a little bit slower than what I anticipated getting there, but they're on the march. Crude oil has been very active this morning. We haven't looked at crude oil because it's already made its big move, so there's not much to see on crude right now. We did get a first micro macro cross. It looks like the hawk is the tool du jour. Getting a lot of decent hawk signals today, which you might anticipate given the relative choppiness that we've been seeing. And they tagged us on break even on the rest of the position. So that big gap, that big opening gap still seems to be problematic. Jim managed to squeak a break-even trade. Well done. Okay, getting a, well, we had a trend change signal here again on the Falcon. I missed that initial signal, but we're getting a second chance at it right here. Can I cover it up there? Ah, darn it. Getting a comparable signal here on the Falcon. Pardon me, the Falcon. The Raptor. So we got a chance for a second push on the Raptor here. It hasn't engaged just yet. And here on the Falcon, we'll see if it will retreat a little bit. Oh, a little bit too quick there. Let's try that again. All right, so all I'm doing is simulating the order that we would have had here on the hash mark. Tony, you're bad. Getting some color commentary here on the markets. Come on. Gee, the follow through or the lack of it is just painful here at the moment. This whole 46.22 to 25 area is just thick with market participation. That's where the hard edge is here, 46.25, and you can just see the market is very sensitive to that number. We haven't drifted too far from there today. As they try yet again to get up there. You see our Geiger counter now full on into the green. As the buyers are chewing through those orders. Oh, that's getting some reaction from the sellers. Again, here, this 46.25-ish region. Come on down. I know you want to head lower. They're just trying to flush the last of the buyers out. So we're getting another hard edge bounce, producing another signal. Had a macro pullback signal print here. On our hawk. Gold has finally hit our profit objective. And the Falcon hits the break-even trigger. I was going to try to hold those stops back a little bit more, but they weren't going to give it to me. And it looks like we might just try to test the lows here. Our profit target just shy of those lows. Sellers taking control on the advanced decline again. Jim says we've got 1160 on the buy and just over 1600 on the sell. So we hit our, no, we haven't hit our profit target on the Raptor yet. Hit our profit target on the Falcon. Hit the break-even trigger here on the Raptor. Getting a little bit of a reaction now as we approach the lows of the morning. Come on, get down there. Okay. Whew, that was hard work. Okay, now that we're into a trending market, I may go with the parabolics to manage the trade from here out. Yeah, thank you, Tony. Tony is giving me some applause. It's been a tough morning. Looking to claw my way back after those couple initial trades, but if we can get a little bit of momentum here, we should see the NQ head lower at least for a few more minutes. What? Okay, so we've got an extra $100 in open profit right now. The thing is, this morning I had a pretty good idea the market was going to head lower. I just wasn't able to leave my stops out of harm's way, which, it happens. The markets will test the upper and lower boundaries. You have to have stops. Stops are your safety net, but occasionally they're going to be a little bit too close. All right, if we can win this bar, I think we're going to see the market head lower still. No. Okay, so we're in for a little bit of a retracement now. And with a little bit of luck, we'll be able to ride it out. Okay, well, it's shaping up here. We are seeing the market firm up though off of this support level. The parabolics are going to be moving my stop in rather quickly here. Let's just see what's going on in our other tools. So nice macro pullback signal on the Hawk. Oh, fantastic little late filter entry signal here on the Falcon. No. Okay, well, we had a feeling that the market was going to put in a little bit more support here. Okay, getting another macro pullback signal, but these tend to happen, um, if they start happening too often, you should begin to suspect them. So let's take a look here at this macro pullback. So we've had a macro pullback here. We have another macro pullback here. We do need a test to the extreme. So, well, and the trend is down, but you know what? I may dial down the risk on this one. Just throw a onesie on it. See if you can get that test to the extreme. The point I'm trying to make here is that if the market's going to turn over, this is beginning to tell you that the trend is starting to get weaker. Let's see if we got a double macro pullback. No, the market's just been too choppy this morning. But if you take the time to look back into your charts, you're going to see that very often you get two macro pullbacks and then a possible reversal. And now we're into yellow bars, so I can cancel that. Ooh, look at the Geiger counter. It was hard over there to the buy side. Oops. All right, so we're getting a little bit of a retracement now. And back in the middle of this morning's range, working on a possible trend change signal here on the Falcon. Possible beginnings of a first micro macro cross back into the hard edge here on the Raptor. Trying not to get too anxious. Okay, well, we've got the warning dots. We don't have the first micro macro cross all in sync yet. And honestly, I'm reluctant to be too aggressive on the buy. I'm only pointing this out. Okay, so here comes the Raptor with a sell signal off of that hard edge. Okay, and here comes a red bar buy. All right, now, okay, folks, we're in the demo room here, so I'm going to get a little goofy. I'm going to buy the red bar buy, anticipating that this is going to be our test of the extreme, and the market's going to head a little bit higher from here. Come on. All right, we got the break even. Oh, and just managed to hit the target. Nicely done. Every once in a while, eh? Oh, we did get the trend change signal here occurring on the Falcon also. Let's take a look at that. I know we have quite a few Falcon traders in the room, and the Falcon traders sometimes get jealous when I do these things on the Hawk, and they think that somehow they got shortchanged with the Falcon. No, not at all. Um, the Hawk sometimes just catches my attention early, but the Falcon, very, very powerful signal here. Also a trend change signal. And you can go with tighter targets on the Hawk, or pardon me, on the Falcon. Our high probability targets are set for each of the tools, but that's not to say that you can't take the open profit when you have it, right? So the Falcon's still working on the signal, the Hawk already at target, but you can certainly run a $50 target for your Falcon also. Okay, so where are they going from here? Well, probably, believe it or not, right back into the middle of this whole trading range, back up to this 46.30 area. That seems most likely. Okay, so our Falcon almost to our target. So our Falcon trade would look something like that. No, they're still deciding. Tony gave me more applause on that last trade. Thank you, Tony. It could be a little bit of a pullback. We may get a proper first micro macro cross signal here on the Hawk yet. Okay, so here's now the first micro macro cross signal on the hawk. I do expect it to go a little bit higher. The problem with the way this one is setting up, I know I've been talking a lot about problems today. It's just the way the market has been. We're in a downtrend. This is looking a little bit like a bear flag. I do think the overall trend is going to override today, and we're likely to see the market head lower at least a little bit. So we're getting some conflicting signals once again. We've got a green bar sell coming off of the hard edge here on the eagle. A struggling first micro macro cross signal. And our trend change signal also fighting to get a little bit higher. All right, well, here they come. We've got this first micro macro cross signal again. Technically, the signal printed right there, which is where the second signal is going to develop. And this is really still just a continuation of the Falcon signal, which we got earlier. There's not very much follow through right now. Ooh, not liking this. The Geiger counter hard over. All right, well, yeah, we're just kind of stuck in a little bit of a sideways range again as the market is consolidating somewhat, which tends to happen as we get toward the top of the hour. And now we're getting a little bit of a macro pullback. So the buyer is definitely struggling somewhat. And we'll let this trade play out, but I think that might be all we're going to see this morning. Come on, buyers. So the Geiger counter trying. We're trying hard to get some buying action there. Come on, buyers, get over there. All right, well, they're going to muscle their way up there sooner or later. I don't know if we're going to see a retracement all the way back to today's highs or not. Of course, it's possible, but it does seem as though we have seen the move of the day. But it hasn't been dramatic. There was a good swing lower, another swing higher, and we're more or less trading in the same range where we began the day. All right. So we're almost to our break-even trigger. You can see here, before I do anything with the stops here, take a look here at the Falcon. You're going to see how the width of these bars, this was the bar that we were really struggling with. People ask me sometimes um, if it takes too long for a trade to develop, does that negate the validity of the signal? And no, it doesn't. Sometimes the market just needs some time to sort itself out. Yeah, Jim says this might explode higher. There's a lot of buying going on. You can see here on the Geiger counter, the buyers do seem to be in control. And where's the next stop here? Oh, that's a bit of a reach, but hey, you never know. 46, 43, 44. It's obvious they're struggling a little bit to head lower, or at least trend lower. All right, you guys, I think we're going to call it a day. Reminder, tomorrow is the open house room, so we're going to meet at the other venue. And I'll see you then. If you are continuing to trade today, well, I do favor the short side. But if we get above this morning's highs, there is a very real possibility that we could see the market trade higher through the remainder of the session. But right now, I still give the nod to the sellers. All right, we will see you tomorrow bright and early. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.